What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Large Conditioning. Massive Iron Steve Shaw is a bro, and here's what I mean by that. Steve always talks about doing compound movements and training your muscles in dumbbells and barbell fashion, and then do the isolation work as you want to or need to. Much like the gym bros of old preached. That's just not the case anymore. A lot of these quote-unquote science-based lifters have been trying to optimize training so much to the point, as he even said himself, it's actually become suboptimal, where they try to do all these weird things, lying on the floor, doing some sort of like lat pull and all this mumbo jumbo, instead of just doing pull-ups, chin-ups, lat pull downs in a regular way, instead of doing all this weird stuff. The same with bench press. Instead of like doing bench press, they would do some sort of like weird angle chest press machine or weird chest flies variations, instead of just doing the normal stuff that has always worked and always will work, no matter what science says, if it's not quote-unquote optimal. This is what I mean by Steve being a bro. He talks about this and has always talks about training in this way. Steve is not necessarily anti-science, he is anti-trying to optimize things to the point where it becomes suboptimal. And this is just the case what has happened today. He is about hard training, high effort, not all this weird stuff. The gym bros, being a gym bro used to be training hard, being intense and being efficient with what you're doing. Not just trying to make things hyper optimal, like you have to do lat pull downs in one specific angle or these like lengthened partials or whatever that has come out these days. It was about just training hard, just knuckle down and push yourself, instead of trying to think of all these like weird variables where if you move your elbow in one part of the way, you may get 0.01% more growth. And it's absolutely ridiculous that science has come to this extent of taking up so much space in the online fitness space. It were needed at one point, but at this point we just need the science to get out the door, really, because it's making a lot more people confused, and a lot of content creators are actually using science to basically every other week contradict something they said 2 weeks ago. There will be one study that says like super high volume is the best, then 2 weeks later low volume is the best, and then this will cycle on and on over and over, and you will just use this to constantly contradict themselves and keep the viewers engaged and confused, because if the viewers are engaged, then they will not get results, because if a viewer can actually get away from your video with knowledge and actually take care of things themselves, they're not going to watch your content again. But if you constantly keep them confused, they will constantly watch you for more views, so you constantly get the engagement and attention that you need. And this is why I say Steve is a bro, because he has been preaching the exactly same thing on YouTube for, I believe, 15 years at this point. He has not changed his tune at all. Steve is one of the originals on YouTube fitness, and he has remained, I would say, basically the same. At least his message about training has stayed consistently to be the same. It has not changed no matter what has happened. And for this, I brand him a bro in the best positive light I possibly can. Thank you for watching. Large Conditioning, signing out.